and welcome back to Well Played, presented by The Skim. I'm Caroline Hendershot.
And I'm Blake Morgan. Welcome back, everybody, post-Super Bowl. How are we feeling?
I feel like it's
a little
been
crazy.
10 years since I last saw you.
It's true. Well, you lived a whole life in the last week.
I did live a whole life, yeah.
Care to share?
I jetted off to New Orleans.
Guys, it was crazy. Like, we were talking back and forth. Caroline was like, maybe I'll go. And it's like, maybe I will go. And then it fell through. No conversation for a couple days. I see on Instagram stories.
Full
bam,
send. Full send.
Landing in the swamps of New Orleans.
Truly the swamps.
Yeah, and she was
no
there.
No offense to New Orleans.
I mean, it's okay to say it. There are swamplands.
I had never been there, so it was very eye-opening to me. But I also didn't feel like I got a true pulse check on the city because I was there so quick. And
why did you go?
The Super Bowl. I don't know if you've heard of it. But I went from Thursday to Saturday. And so very quick trip. Mm-hmm. But, you know, was just kind of seeing some people, seeing some friends, seeing some other team reporters, went to a couple events, and then before the game, zipped out of there, got home. Also, when I took off and landed, it was snowing in New York, so I was like,
so
cool.
odd.
And it was like 80 down there, so I was like, cool.
Vibe change.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing that you did?
I would say the Abercrombie and Fitch event that I went to that was hosted by Allison Cooch and Taylor Rooks.
Did you get to meet her?
I did meet her briefly, but she was also like, you know.
Probably so busy, right?
She was running the whole show, so she was a very busy lady. But Taylor Rooks sat down near us and like chatted with us for a little bit, so that was awesome. And it was also just really cool to meet other women within the NFL. So, it was great. Had a great time and am still tired from it all.
I bet. And
but
then also
good.
Sunday, it was game day.
And then Sunday was game day.
Right.
But I did enjoy the Super Bowl like I said I was going to. Minimal people. I had 2 friends over. We really just were chill.
You reined it in. Well,
what were your Super Bowl plans?
It's funny you
Philadelphia.
Ask. It's really funny you ask. So if you follow me on Instagram, if I were to ever make a plea for you to follow me on Instagram, it's for this very moment. Because if you do follow me there, you will have known that I actually did not make it to Philadelphia. I wanted to break my silence on the platform immediately as soon as I knew, so that I could be transparent with you guys, my loyal followers. I love you so much. So I didn't make it to Philadelphia, as I said, because... Long story short, my best friend was supposed to come visit Saturday night. We were supposed to drive back to Philly because that's where she lives. Sunday. Girl got the flu.
The flu's been going around.
It's been going around. It's bam.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Another one bites the dust.
One. But she's also such a she's such an Eagles fan that she was bedridden, but watching the TV with a heating pad on her chest. Yeah. So I didn't get to go because I was like, I'm not, that's where I was going to stay. I have other friends in Philly, but I was the free ride was really
enticing.
Yeah. And then So I instead made Valentine's at my friend's house. We ordered a lot. I almost said the F word. I didn't. I held back.
Proud of you.
I ordered a lot of Korean fried chicken.
Wow. Delish.
And we just vibed out and watched the Super Bowl while making Valentine's.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. It's a whole mood. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Did you make me a Valentine?
You know,
it's coming in the mail.
But I'm I've never been very visually artistically gifted, so I could only make one, and I made it for my man.
Okay, that's
and then
fair.
I was gonna make it for everybody, but it took me so long to make it that I just didn't have time.
I get it. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
So
that was what I was up to. I'm sorry to disappoint. I did not get to climb any poles. Didn't get to launch any fireworks myself. It looked like a lot of fun.
It did. It looked crazy, but I'm sure that it will also be crazy when they have their parade. But we'll get into that
later.
A little bit later. Yes. Okay, so make sure to check out our full-length video of this and every episode on YouTube. Just search for Well Played by The Skim on YouTube, or if you prefer to listen, make sure you hit that follow button on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Do it. I really want you to do it this time because I know we've been saying it for weeks, but it would really mean a lot to me if you would just do it.
And me. It would also mean a lot to me.
You can also, like I said, follow us on Instagram. This is my plea to you at BLAAA4KE. Caroline.
At CG Hendy.
Yeah. And you can also follow The Skim.
Yeah. Also follow The Skim because all of our social clips are posted there as well. As always, we've prepared a roundup of our favorite stories dominating your feeds this week. It's time for Playing the Field.
All right, y'all. We cannot start our Super Bowl breakdown without acknowledging the bell bottom in the room.
Literally.
A literal one.
Literally.
If you look at the camera,
mine.
Caroline is wearing a bell bottom.
I need to say something. I did it first.
It's actually true.
I legitimately, okay, and here's my thing. I have, these are bell bottoms. My black jeans are bell bottoms. Like, I have worn bell bottoms religiously, and here's why. Bell bottoms make long legs look longer, and they are very flattering on tall ladies.
Oh,
and
okay,
men.
so...
Actually, they're flattering on everyone. I'll say that. But specifically for taller women,
Especially.
they look great.
Okay, so you just told me everything I need to know about how you felt about Kendrick's pants on him, his 5'5" body. We'll get into that later, a bit later. But I do want to set the scene because, you know, the Super Bowl, sure, football, but the fashion girlies were tapped in for other reasons.
Of course.
And that does include, Kendrick's halftime performance, of course, the other fashion we'll talk about later. But I just where do we want to start with the bell? Do you want to start somewhere else?
I think we have to start with the entire stadium singing A minor.
Okay.
So loud.
Right.
So loud. Like, when it got to that part in the song, everyone, like, it was just so, I feel like, okay, let me backtrack. Start from square one. I felt as though Kendrick's mic was not loud enough. Like, I felt like the background noise was very loud during the whole broadcast, I felt. But specifically the halftime performance, I was like, I understand he's rapping, so it's hard to understand to begin with. But I just felt like I couldn't hear him that well.
I agree.
But when the whole stadium said A minor, I was like, oh, I'm thankful that the background noise is so loud because it was so amplified.
There were moments when I was like, please speak up, girlfriend. Like, mommy can't hear you. But I agree that raucous A minor. You know, I just had this thought, and it's going to be a little gross, I have to say.
Oh, God.
If I was in the stands and that opportunity came up for me, I would probably scream A minor so loud.
That was like kind of cute.
Thank you. I think I would scream it so loud that I would pee myself a little bit because I would just be like so
there it is.
into the fanatics. You know what I mean? But
No,
also,
I
it's
don't.
kind of crazy because,
But okay.
wouldn't be me, but that's fine. I'm just a little more honest, maybe. I don't know.
I appreciate that.
It's really crazy. And this is such an obvious thing, but you forget that the halftime show is produced for television. Like, if you're there, sorry, dog, it's not for you.
Yeah, like I saw, I think maybe a tweet or something of people all on their phones during the halftime performance. And I'm like,
could you imagine?
Yeah, but I'm like, that's why it's always better when you're at home watching, personally.
Another case for being at home for the Super Bowl.
What did you think of his chain?
Well, at first I didn't clock the chain.
Right.
I mean, I saw it, but I wasn't like, I don't know what this means. But so one theory I read, it's an lowercase a, A minor.
Okay, I think that's what everyone thought initially.
But you have another theory.
Yes. Well, I saw this complex post, and then I kept digging and found that the actual designer of the necklace, like the jeweler, designed it because the A is the logo of his company, PG Lang. I might be saying it wrong. But it's like a creative company that he owns that helped produce the halftime show. So it's Kendrick's company. So he was just repping himself. No, it literally says it on the chain.
I don't care.
Okay.
This is
I mean, we could just choose to believe ignorance. Yeah, choose to believe the A minor because
I mean, that's just creme de la creme. Okay, I guess we could talk about the bell bottoms a bit more now.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. Bell bottoms look great.
Loved it.
Extra great.
Yeah.
On tall people. Kendrick Lamar is 5'5". Short king.
So?
He was drowning in them.
I don't think so. He was just wearing sneakers. Like, he can't wear heels.
What do you mean you don't think so? They were literally, I'm pretty sure, I saw them,
but that's also
under...
the style. I did say, people were like, I hate his jeans. I was like, when I first saw him, I was like, oh, I like his jeans. But, for me.
They probably wouldn't even be long enough on you.
No.
Sorry, sweetheart.
No shot.
Yeah. However personal my feelings might be about his pant choice, I will say that given he was wearing jeans in which he was drowning, it is still so remarkable to me that even though he looked like that, he still slayed. And he still ate Drake to shreds. Ate left no crumbs. So I don't even really care. I kind of looked past the jeans after I saw the whole performance.
Okay, what?
Well, I was going to say, we haven't even talked about how we felt about the performance.
Oh, I liked it. I think people were just up in arms because they expected it to be like the Beyonce halftime show where it was crazy and really entertaining in the sense of pop music kind of thing. But my thing is that my only gripe really is that I wish the surprise, no shade to Serena or SZA, I wish the surprise guest, there had been like more of them.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just me being greedy.
Well, no, I think halftime shows are usually full
Yeah.
of the appearances, which is why we were kind of all expecting that.
Right.
So, yeah, my bingo card last week prediction, Tyler, the Creator, not even close.
It's okay.
But
it was a good guess.
I screamed when I saw Serena personally.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
Serena.
I sat up.
Yeah. I liked the performance as well. I agree with you. I think people maybe don't realize that Kendrick is more of like an artistic music person, artist, one might say. And also, like, if you're mad about it or if you thought it was boring, I think you should take it up with whoever decided to hire him because he's like a Pulitzer Prize winning rapper.
Or take it up with Mr. Lamar himself.
Or that. Yeah, fine.
I'd like to see you say that to his face. Okay, you brought up Drake. I have to say, so he was apparently like performing in Australia. Convenient.
Of course, out of the country.
Yes, right?
He's like, I need to flee.
Convenient. The same day as a Super Bowl. And during his concert, he gave away $45,000 to concert goers. And I'm like,
bribe.
This is giving desperado. Like, you are truly just trying to buy people's favoritism. Like, gave $25K to one person who had a sign that said Adonis, his son, for president. And then gave $20K to another person who said, kiss me, it's my birthday, on a sign.
Literally keep Adonis out of this. He's a child.
Yeah, I know. That too. But, like, interessant.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about Samuel L. Jackson? Were you expecting that?
No, that was a shock too, which
Yeah.
I liked, but like I wanted a singing surprise, you know?
I didn't even think they'd do I didn't know they did actors in halftime shows.
Me
yeah.
either.
Yeah.
But Serena was sick.
Serena was sick. Also, her crip walk was like very coded because she did that dance after she won the Olympics.
Was it Olympics?
It was the London Olympics 2012.
Okay.
I think at Wimbledon.
Oh, duh.
And she did that dance after she won. She was
she
like,
got
hey!
so much backlash.
Yeah. People shat on her.
I mean, classic.
Yeah. And they're just like, you're classless. This is not tasteful.
Yeah. And then her video afterwards where she was like, I didn't dance like that at Wimbledon. I would have
been fined.
Yeah.
I know. It was
She's
like,
great.
you know what? Redemption arc. Let's go.
But I did appreciate that it was just like Kendrick really pulling out all the stops of like Drake's ex.
Right, because she used to date Drake, which is, I'm sorry, like, Serena is a true woman. Drake, to me, even though he's 38 years old, is a boy.
Yeah, I get that.
It's crazy to think that they would have ever...
I know. And to me, she's just like in a tier of her own. So
I agree. She's just class, and
Yeah.
he's out in Australia giving out free money because he's desperado, like you said.
Desperado. So let's move on to it being a tough day for the Chiefs fans because...
Not just the Chiefs fans.
I know, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm sorry, girl.
The Swifties, too.
How did you feel watching?
RIP. Okay, let me explain because... So we had talked last week about how she was shown 12 times in the last Super Bowl. She was shown once.
That's crazy.
Also, I could not find like her walking into the stadium. And I understand it's not Arrowhead, so like they don't have that same setup. So maybe it was just a little harder to find her. I could not find her pregame outfit. Like the entire time I was looking, I had to like Google it, whatever. I did appreciate that she took the leg chain from the Grammys and wore it as a necklace. Loved that. But
I was surprised she didn't wear something more like flashy, honestly. She was very plain.
she was very tame. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I liked the blazer. I actually really loved it. She looked very chic. I will say the shorts, those are something that like only Taylor Swift can pull off versus if I tried to wear it, my sister would absolutely shame me and say that I needed to throw away my shorts from 7th grade. But like they looked really good on her.
Yeah.
I just would not be able to pull them off in the same way. My
that's
sister
okay.
would eat me alive.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And that's on sisterhood. But
Yes.
so I think the biggest thing was when they showed her on the Jumbotron and she got booed.
Okay. As you all have maybe picked up on, I am not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. However, that was like shocking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'm not that surprised because football fans are low-key insane, but
For sure.
like she didn't do anything.
I know.
Leave Britney alone. You know what I mean?
I liked how she was like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
she had no
and
idea.
then like laughed. But also it's like, remember how she set revenue and attendance records in the Superdome this past year? Yeah, me too. Because of her 3-day concert where she smashed every single record. Yeah, me too. So I'm sorry. Who's the owner of this house? It's Taylor Swift. Like, please. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah. You will always come with the receipts backing up Taylor, which I appreciate.
Of course.
But also, why do you think she was Like, do you think there was a reason why she wasn't on screens too much?
Probably it was a lot of due to the lack of the Chiefs not playing well. Like, there were just not a lot of opportunities to show her reacting. Mm-hmm. And 2, Travis wasn't like really that active. Like, I mean, obviously he was playing, but he just didn't have a lot of plays, you know? So I think that was in tandem last year. She was reacting a lot because he was having such a crazy game.
Shouldn't have that much to react to.
No,
woof.
sad.
Maybe she'll like put this in her next album.
Yeah.
Heartbreak at Halftime.
That's a good one. Maybe you should co-write the song.
Fumbled my feelings.
Oh. Okay, I actually saw a really, and we're going to just ignore that. I saw a really interesting, I think Claudia Oshry, who's on the Toast, she said, do you think Taylor got the ick at all throughout just like even for a split second?
I think she got the ick before the game even started because we're going to talk about this later, but Travis's outfit?
It was something.
I mean, if you put Taylor and Travis next to each other as they walked through with their outfits, it's just like, she's like an all-time girly girl, all-time American girl.
She just looked like chic, and he looked like
he looked like the unofficial 4th member of the Bee Gees.
That's a great reference. He legitimately teleported from the 70s and landed in 2025.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, maybe 70s fashion is coming back around because bell bottoms, Travis,
Ooh.
like, you know, so maybe it's just
we got a trend forecaster in the room.
There you go. Everyone get your bell bottoms.
But I would say also during the game, she must have gotten an ick. The ick, I should say.
I just feel like I feel like you have to at some point, you know?
Yeah.
No offense to, no shade. But like everyone gets an ick of their loved one here or there, you know? How could you not? But I also will say people are already asking if Travis is going to retire. And Patrick Mahomes said like he's not sure he's going to let Travis answer that like in his own time.
Well, what do you think?
I don't think so, just because I feel like there's still more left in the tank for him. And I don't think he would want to end on this note.
It's funny. Okay, I was going to say, I don't even think it's up to Travis. I think it's up to Taylor.
Oh, really?
Because Taylor Swift would never allow her man to retire as a loser because that would make her look so bad. And that's why I think he has to keep playing.
Okay.
She's going to be like gun to his head like, you better pull out a Super Bowl win next year.
You know the
it's over.
You know the picture of them like somewhere in Europe, I think it maybe Italy, where like someone snapped it and she's mid like conversation, but it looks like she's yelling at him. People are taking that picture and like captioning it in the funniest ways on Twitter, and I was dying. It was very creative.
Just like what I said.
Exactly.
Like, you will not retire a loser.
Exactly. So we'll see. But Jason Kelce, Travis's brother, obviously played for the Eagles his whole career when he was in the NFL, and he wrote this like long tweet. It was 4 paragraphs about how happy he is for the Eagles, but also how sad he is for Travis. So that's a tough position to be in, but say lovey.
So our next Playing the Field story involves some off-the-field speculation from the rumor mill. Ooh la la. So rumors spread over Super Bowl weekend that former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is engaged after his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, was spotted wearing a diamond ring.
Yeah.
They also appeared in a Dunkin' commercial together, which I thought was an interesting choice.
I just didn't like the Dunkin' commercial in general.
Right. I mean, seeing Jeremy Strong covered in goop.
Oh, that was weird. I didn't
and
like
also
it.
the Affleck brothers, I'm not really the hugest fans of them. I don't think they're good for women.
Sounded very personal.
Yeah.
Do you think they're really engaged?
If they're not already engaged, I could see it happening within the next year.
Okay.
She is making moves, and I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah.
She got into a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
24 years old with like one of the best coaches of all time.
She also took like pictures together with him at UNC, like when they announced his new position.
Right.
And they looked like kind of like a presidential couple.
Yes.
You know? I mean, I think maybe it was because her dress was white, so it was kind of giving presidential. But yeah, no, they are legit. Okay, I will say, I didn't notice this ring because I was too distracted because she was wearing, so this was at NFL Honors, and because she was spotted wearing that same ring at Honors, but she was also wearing what people were speculating was one of Belichick's Super Bowl rings because he had like all of his rings on, and she had a massive ring on as well that looked like a Super Bowl ring. So people were going after her. Guess what? It wasn't it was her own national championship ring from cheerleading. Yup, in 2021. And she was wearing that thing loud and proud. And I was like, hell yeah, sister.
Oh my God. Of course they're going to think that it's one of his rings first.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I earned that. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Does a backflip.
Yeah, exactly. And also then it made me think of my Big Ten championship ring that is quite literally the same size. And
but you should bring it in for show and tell.
If I ever go to the NFL honors, I will also wear it, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay. So just had to say that. I will say an inspiring story to close out this week's Playing the Field. The Eagles victory on Sunday. Assistant sports performance coach Autumn Lockwood became the first Black woman to win a Super Bowl as a coach. She was also the first Black woman to coach in a Super Bowl 2 years ago when the Eagles debuted in the Super Bowl. But she earned that. Oh, yeah, I just said that. But she can now call herself a champion.
I loved this story. We covered it on the Skims social yesterday. Yeah. And I didn't realize, but she's actually now joins 3 other women who have also coached their way to a Lombardi Trophy, which is great.
Yeah, just love it. Breaking the barriers and more women in football.
Please. Thank you. We continue this episode of Well Played as we do every week with a roundup of our favorite NFL action that you need to be talking about. It's time for Tuesday Morning Quarterback.
Okay, Philadelphia absolutely dominated the game from beginning to end, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Now that the game is over, several Eagles defenders have admitted that the talk of a three-peat helped motivate the team to perform, especially after they heard that the Chiefs had come to an agreement with Miami Heat president Pat Riley to use the trademarked term three-peat without issue if they did win.
Yeah. Well, do you think this motivated the hell out of the Eagles?
Like, if I was on the opposing team and I heard people being like, oh, yeah, don't worry. We already figured out how to solve the three-peat trademark. We got it. We asked him.
Oh, no, they were like so proud.
Yeah. And they were like,
how cocky.
Yeah, totally. And so, of course, they were extra motivated from that. So,
okay. So you were talking also about, Eagles defense. I was just like, okay, I should also say I was the most tapped into my game.
I'm really proud of you.
Not my game, the game, excuse me. What?
Once again.
NFL commissioner over here. What?
Her team, her league.
Yeah. Yeah, at the Valentine's Day party, I was. I felt very proud. People were asking questions.
You should be.
I was able to answer.
Hell yeah.
I was like, you should root for Jalen Hurts. He's a cute one over there. But I was noticing, obviously, how could you not, that the Eagles were absolutely dominating. What was going on there? Like, explain this to me.
So
it was absurd.
I think it was just a very true testament of the Eagles' defense. I know that the Eagles' offensive line is like one of the best in the league, or was one of the best in the league this year. But the defense played at an entirely different level. Like, they were on their game, and particularly the defensive line. So they sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times.
Damn.
Like, that's insane. He usually is so shifty that he doesn't get sacked that much. So it was kind of a combo of the Chiefs O-line and the Eagles D-line really not matching up well.
Do you feel like Mahomes was choking?
I don't think he was choking per se. I think it was just like they were so
good,
outmatched. Yeah. Like the defense was just so much better than their O-line that like they couldn't really protect him, and therefore he
wasn't doing it. He didn't do the job.
He was just kind of cooked.
But I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Professor.
Yes.
So I read that the Eagles didn't blitz a single time in the game. Can I first ask, what is a blitz?
So blitzing, okay, let me break it down real quick. Blitzing is when you have 5 or more players rushing the quarterback. Rushing is just like kind of, sprinting towards him, fighting off the man in front of him, trying to pressure him, trying to sack him, trying to hurry him up so that he gets rid of the ball faster and makes either a bad decision, throws a pick, doesn't complete a pass, just kind of disrupts his play. So you usually add like a linebacker or a defensive back onto the line, and so you add an extra person to then also attack the quarterback. They didn't do that once. And they were able to still sack Patrick Mahomes 6 times.
How common is it to not blitz?
Uncommon.
Really?
Particularly, like, I think usually it's like, oh, we're going to throw in a blitz on this third down or on if they're trying to go for it on fourth down. It's like, okay, we're going to try and blitz him to like really shake him up so that they don't complete this pass. And they were able to do that without blitzing because they were just that dominant. Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. So you can drop that in your group chat and let all your friends be very impressed by that. So
okay, good.
It was a very good day for the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to shout out. Sorry. I pulled up this tweet because I thought it was this important to reference. Zach Bond, one of the Eagles defenders, insane in the playoffs. So in the wild card round, he had an interception. In the divisional round, he had a fumble recovery. In the NFC Championship, he had a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. In the Super Bowl, he had an interception.
Damn.
So it was just like playoffs, Zach Bond, check.
Handshake emoji.
Yeah, handshake emoji. Exactly. So he crushed. And so I just had to shout him out.
That was nice of you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
My man. That's my man.
I can't.
Obviously, he took home the Super Bowl MVP trophy, and he set the record for rushing yards by a quarterback in Super Bowl history. He also threw 2 big touchdown passes and ran another in himself. And a lot of people, like Lily actually last week, I believe, she had Saquon as her Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
If the Eagles were to win. Why do you think Jalen kind of showed up and showed out on the stat sheet versus I feel like Saquon wasn't as showy as he...
I think they game planned for Saquon, you know? Like they knew what type of player he was. And so they were like, we need to shut him down because he's so explosive. If we give him an inch, he'll take a mile. So like we can't let him get anything. So they were very cognizant of him. I think my sister actually said like, oh, I didn't realize Jalen Hurts was that fast. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point because he injured his knee 2 games ago. So then the last game, he wasn't running as much. So I think maybe people kind of forgot about that. I mean, I'm sure the Chiefs defense didn't, but I think maybe like the average viewer just kind of forgot. But yeah, he was just able to escape out of the pocket, was very shifty as well. And so he used that to his advantage. So
The Chiefs are just like putting too many of their eggs in their Saquon basket.
correct. That is a great way to put it.
Thanks. Okay.
I will say that even though Saquon didn't have a monster game, he did break Terrell Davis's record for most rushing yards in a single season, including the postseason with 2,504 yards.
Okay. So he did that thing.
History.
And it was also his birthday.
Yes.
Let us not forget him and Cooper DeJean.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see on the broadcast? So after the game, they brought over a birthday cake for them to eat. And then Saquon's like, Jalen, you want a bite? And he's like, I'm good.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's
I'm
just
good.
like, I'm like cool, calm, collected.
Yeah. He's really mastered his facial expressions.
Yeah. The man does not
Great poker face.
not change. Oh, I did see though, he kissed his fiance after the interview with Erin Andrews. And I feel like that was the first time I had like really seen them like smooch. And I was like, ugh, so wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
they were really
was a
cute.
moment.
They were very cute. Jalen also answered questions about his phone screensaver.
Oh, yeah, I
which
wanted to talk about this.
Featured a picture of himself after the 2023 Super Bowl surrounded by a shower of Chiefs confetti. When asked about the motivation the picture inspired, Hurts joked that his teammates should be fined for leaking the info. But I found it so funny because I think they kept bringing it up on the Fox broadcast as well, that like it's been his screensaver since that Super Bowl loss. So for years, it's been his screensaver.
I saw him. He obviously went to Disney World because that's what the Super Bowl MVPs do, apparently.
I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah, literally. And somebody, I forget where it was, but someone interviewed him. I think it was ESPN. And they asked him about the wallpaper. And they're like, so did you change your wallpaper now that you won the Super Bowl? And he's like, it's just a wallpaper. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah. He's just like.
He's so nonchalant.
Yeah. Very nonchalant. Very like, I'm not going to give you guys a morsel of like maybe how I'm really feeling, what I'm really thinking. Like, just so cool. Yeah. You had a shout out for Jalen's management team.
Oh, I did. Speaking of women in football, Jalen Hurts, guys, he has an all-female management team.
Yeah, he does.
So it's his agent, his manager, and his marketing rep. And I mean, he said this quote. He said, having an all-woman team gives him an eye that I don't have, that I'm able to lean on in certain situations. That's something I value very heavily. Yeah, you know what? women, we be seeing shit that the men don't see.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like, it's like when you ask a boy, my brother, to go, hey, can you go get this from the fridge? They open the door. Not there. Close it. You're like, you didn't look. Go look again. Yeah. Open it. Not there. Close it. Then you go and look, and it's literally right in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did you not see that?
Because they can't.
You're
they
welcome.
Literally can't.
Women. Also, his agent, Nicole Lynn, I've met her before because she's like a big agent in the NFL, and she is so badass, like so cool, and just gets her job done, and like, love her. So she's very cool.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts' team.
Yep. All right, let's talk about ratings next. It turns out that football, shocker, is more popular than ever. Fox projects the Super Bowl averaged 126 million U.S. viewers. That tops the previous record, 123.7 million, that tuned in last year. The only American telecast to be watched by more people, the Apollo 11 moon landing.
My goodness.
So one may say it is in good company.
Yeah. I have to say, it's probably thanks to girls like me who decided to tune into the Super Bowl this year.
No, I really do think it's just becoming more and more popular. Like we saw it with all of the Super Bowl commercials that featured women, like the flag football commercial, like the Dove commercial, the Nike commercial. So it's just kind of like, I think for so long they, not like in a bad way, but they played into the stereotype of just like football is a guy sport. And it's like, it's so much more than that.
Wait, you know what's funny is that yesterday I was like looking around for stories, and I saw that I think it was in South Carolina, there was this little like shop that did Super Bowl Sunday galentines. And so they're like, we wanted to open up the shop, create a space for women to come hang and kiki before the big game. And so a bunch of these women who have husbands who are literally going to watch the game later that day, they're just like, I just needed something to do to like, you know, de-stress before my husband's friends come over and stuff like that. And they're like, you know, after having such a good day today, I don't even want to go home.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I know. I'm like,
really
you know
cute.
what? That should be a tradition. Like, get the girls together before the big day.
No, truly. But now that the season's over, odds makers have already declared who the favorites will be going into next season. Going into the game, many sports books had the Chiefs as the likely favorites for next year, but following the Eagles' victory, Philadelphia jumped up the rankings for all but a few online betting outlets. Caesars, BetMGM, FanDuel, and DraftKings now have Philadelphia as the standalone favorite, just ahead of Baltimore and Kansas City.
Okay, but what does that mean to be the favorite, though?
Like, the bettors expect you to be the winner. So like if like we're going to fight, let's say we're in a boxing match.
Okay.
And like you're the favorite, all of the bettors expect you to win.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like how you made it personal.
Obviously. we're always physically fighting.
Okay. And then as for the actual bets themselves, do you like, this might be a dumb question, but like, do you bet now?
Okay. So here's the thing. I cannot bet. Let me make that clear because I work in the NFL. But from what I know about betting, you can bet at any time, right?
Oh, okay.
But it's more so that the odds will change. So let's say like you place a bet right now and the odds are really high that the Eagles are going to win. Let's just say that, you know, something crazy happens and Jalen Hurts is no longer their quarterback next season or something. It's not. Everyone relax. Then the odds would change drastically. Right. So then like maybe not as much in their favor anymore. And so then if they were still able to win, your bet would have had the odds that it started at, not the odds that happened once the Eagles kind of went down.
They fell off.
Yeah. So it's just like the odds change throughout the year.
Yeah. So all right, I got it.
So like you can place your bet whenever, but it's just kind of up to it's a little harder. Like, you know, like how are you going to predict if there's a player change or a quarterback change or a coaching change or like an injury next season. So that's why, you know, that all adds into the odds, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay.
It does make sense.
Okay.
So I'm curious because I feel like the Chiefs have been, poised to be like this sort of dynasty team. They're amazing. You can't beat them. But obviously they just lost so bad.
Yeah.
So what are people saying about this? Like, are the Chiefs kind of losing that status? Is it going to be like the Eagles is going to be the new team to beat?
I will say the Eagles are very young, so that helps a lot. But their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, he's being targeted by the New Orleans Saints to become their next head coach. So that is just a little bit of like obviously if you're given Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, like you're going to make things happen, and like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, you're going to make things happen on offense. So like you don't need to be this like master creator, but it's going to play into it, like having a new offensive coordinator, maybe a new offensive system, who knows? But like that will definitely play into it. So we'll see how that shakes things up. But I will just say, I think a lot of people are coming at Mahomes saying like, oh, this ruined his legacy. He can't be even remotely in the same conversation as Tom Brady, blah, 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 blah. I just want to put into perspective, Tom Brady lost 3 Super Bowls, in case anyone was forgetting that. Obviously not to like this drastically of like a score differential, but like, okay, he lost 3 of them. It happens. Also, losing sometimes is the best thing that can happen to you because it kicks you in the butt.
That's true.
And I will say, Mahomes is 29, for anyone who's forgetting. Brady had 3 Super Bowls at 29. Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls at 29. So like, we just have to take a beat, because I think that, yes, this was a bad showing and it was not good for his resume, but he still has 3 Super Bowls at 29. And like Brady won 3 from the age of like 38 on. So like we just have to remember that.
Okay, so you're a Mahomes apologist, I hear.
I'm just like, I want everyone to take a breath because we love to overreact.
Well, I mean, I will say, when I was watching the big game, I was like, I mean, it must really suck for Mahomes, because not only did he lose, but yeah, he just, if he wants a three-peat, he's going to have to win 2 more in a row again. So that was like truly history could have happened.
Yeah, the RIP to the 3-peat.
All right, so in case you missed it, just 2 more brief topics to cover in Tuesday Morning Quarterback, starting with sweet Josh Allen of the Bills, who took home the 2024 NFL MVP award last week. Were we happy to see that?
Very exciting. Also, he and Haley Steinfeld looked incredible on the red carpet. But yeah, very happy for him. He was very like gracious in his acceptance speech. It was very cute. And Lamar also, kudos to him, because he had a great season as well. So
okay, and then finally, according to a report from NFL insider Jay Glazer, your team, the Jets, informed Aaron Rodgers that they will not be bringing him back next season. Okay, just really quick, like, what do you know so far? What do we know so far? Do we think he's going to play?
It's funny because everyone's like, oh my God, you must have seen this coming. No,
you never know what's coming.
I know what this tweet says. But yeah, so I don't know, like, obviously there was like a head coaching change, so that definitely factors into it. Who knows? Will he continue to play in the NFL next year? Where will he play? Like, that all is kind of up in the air. So
you know what we know.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll just kind of have to.
And it's not confirmed. It's just like kind of, this is what we're hearing.
Right. It was in NFL Insider's like report. Right. So who's to say TBD. That? Yeah.
We'll be following this one.
Yes, we will. Let's get to Send It, because I've been waiting all week for this. As always, Send It features 4 of our favorite viral moments from the week that you should be sending to your group chat. Blake, I'll let you go first.
All right, we have to talk about Nike's first Super Bowl ad since 1998, year I was born, which features a collection of female athletes and the tagline, "So win." So who were standout athletes for you that you saw in the commercial?
Literally everyone.
I know.
Caitlin Clark, you had Sha'Carri, you had Sophia Smith, obsessed with her.
Love her, yeah.
Yeah, like you had Sabrina Ionescu. It was incredible. It was so well done. I loved it.
Also narrated by Doechii. Hello.
Sick. And also the fact that it was the first one in 27 years. Chef's kiss.
I know. I was so glad to see Nike show up and show out for the female athletes, because obviously like their star power is unmatched, and they've had such an impact on sports in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Always, but especially in the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, truly. It was great. Okay, next up on Send It, how about Bradley Cooper handing out cheesesteaks to fans from his own food truck on Friday before the game? Incredible.
Right. I kind of forgot that Bradley Cooper's been on this side quest with like a food business. I was hearing whispers of this, and then I saw the videos, and I was like...
He's just like so Philly, and I heard him talking on like Pat McAfee about the food truck and just saying how he had this cheesesteak. It was incredible. He really tried to convince the guy who like created it to do the food truck, and then they did it and it became so successful. So he was like, check, got that. So yeah.
I don't know what he's thinking about.
What Bradley wants, Bradley gets.
Right. And like, I don't know what he's thinking about acting lately, but like if he wants to retire as a cheesesteak seller, I'm here for it. That's a great retirement plan in my book.
Yeah, honestly, truly. Whatever he wants.
I'll go with another Send It, but this one's going to be more like Fashion Police, sort of like rapid fire, if we can try and make that happen.
Done.
So just pretend we're Joan Rivers, strapped in the studio. Let's start with Kendrick's pants real quick again.
Okay.
Like or dislike?
Like, love.
Okay.
They're literally the exact same pants that I'm wearing.
All right. I was lukewarm, but he still killed it, so I don't really care.
I love a bell bottom.
Taylor shorts.
Once again, one of those really cool things that she can wear. I could never wear. She looked great. My sister would rip me to shreds if I wore them. I liked them.
I was not in love with them. Okay. All of the players' outfits. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Interesting because he was wearing the wrong color, but it's okay because so was Devontae Smith. On the Eagles, he wore an all red suit, so it was like a little interesting. I will say really quickly, I know this is rapid fire, the Oakleys. I understand he's an Oakley athlete. I get it, but I hate the Oakleys. It gives me rowing PTSD because Oakleys are like the glasses you wear for rowing too. And they're just, the male rowers always wore the big ones. And I'm like, let's just take a beat. We don't have to make them that ostentatious. Let's just tone it down. Yeah, not my vibe, but that's okay.
My take on his was that he really just hit it with the reverse Uno.
Yeah, of course.
With that Eagles green. Okay, Travis Kelce.
I think it's truly the return of the 70s fashion. Like, he quite literally looked like he just came straight from the disco.
Yeah. I was seeing him he was getting clowned a lot for this outfit, and I do agree it was a little clownish. However, I also wanted to say, I'm just happy to see the boys dressing.
No, me too. I like a little fashion
daring,
risk. You know, I take it. I will add, just a quick thought, like the thing that made me the most sad was him, like videos of him walking up to the suite still wearing that outfit. I was like,
the walk of shame on Travis Kelce.
Do we maybe just like pack some sweats for post game?
We should.
Why not?
That was so, I would be so embarrassed. It's literally like the walk of shame from a hookup house. Like,
kinda, yeah.
Horrible. Okay, Jalen Hurts.
I think you are biased because you're literally already smiling. But I think it was one of the better ones. Very like chic, classic. But I will say the color, I could not unsee Barney. It's the literal same shade as Barney.
I was more in it for the silhouette. Of course. Myself, I loved that neckline. It was very tasteful. Okay, Devonta Smith.
Yeah, he had the bell bottoms on. He was rocking all red. It really is, that was interesting. It wasn't my favorite.
If you watched SpongeBob as a child, you may remember that SpongeBob does go to the Bubble Bowl and he wears a full body red marching band suit, and that is what that man looks like.
It was so accurate. It's like the most accurate thing I've heard.
Okay, DeAndre Hopkins?
Yes, DeAndre Hopkins. I am saying he's the winner in my book because of his mink jacket. His dad passed away in 1992, I believe, and that was one of the things that he left for him. And Hopkins said, I will either wear it to my wedding or the Super Bowl, whichever comes first.
Aww.
And he got to wear it to the Super Bowl.
I love that.
Know. So sweet.
Okay,
for our last send it for the day, we have to stay on the subject of fashion because the watches that the men were wearing, insane. So Tom Brady's quote unquote like ugly gold watch that he was wearing during the broadcast that caught a lot of people's attention. $740,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep.
That is way higher than...
It's a home. He's wearing a home on his wrist.
I was going to say that is more expensive than all of my belongings combined.
Definitely like than both of our net worths combined.
Yeah. Way more, I would say.
Insane. So that was kind of crazy.
Okay, but I didn't have really much of a problem with the watch. I had more of a problem with his severe contour.
Oh, you thought he had
his makeup
contour?
artist.
Oh, really?
Needs to be fired for that blend job.
I don't
know
really
who did
notice
that. What? Okay, I posted that on my Instagram story, and so many people responded.
Maybe
even like my cousin was like, my husband even noticed because I always ask him to point out my contour.
Oh, that's funny.
And so he clocked it.
That's amazing.
I was also hearing whispers of buccal fat removal.
Oh,
but that's okay.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. Also, Giselle did have her baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's ex. Ooh, that's got a sting.
Yeah. So maybe he was contouring a little extra hard because he was feeling himself. You know.
Yeah.
Like
he needed to.
Yeah. All right. Not only Tom Brady, Jay-Z also wearing a very rare watch, roughly $3 million.
My jaw has been dropped for the past 30 seconds because I knew that was coming.
Not only is that a house that is like multiple blocks of buildings.
City blocks, if you will.
In New York.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I actually thought this watch was pretty fly though. It has like a skeleton, this. What's this called? Like a rock on.
Nailed it.
Rock on hand in the middle of it. It was pretty cool.
I will just say, I understand that they have money to spend. I just don't think it would, for me, it's not going to be on the watch. It's not how I'm going to do it. Because I have $3 million to spend.
Yeah, that's what you think now, Caroline.
Oh, and then Andy Reid had a $60 watch on. My man.
Casio. Well, Casio is classico in my opinion.
Classico.
He was also in a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Lots
was
of people.
allowed.
Lots of people. Yeah. All right. Who's your winner for this week? Send it.
Well, I kind of liked our fashion police. I thought that was fun. I think we should bring it back actually in the future.
We'll do more fashion police segments. I just have to go with Nike because go women. But
Damn.
Very tough. Those two, top two.
Yeah.
Now that the NFL season is officially over, I feel like we should issue some closing statements. Would you like to go first or should I?
You can go first.
Okay. Let me sit up. Let me get right. Okay. This Super Bowl was the perfect Super Bowl for haters. It just kind of reinvigorated that you can be a hater and you can win too.
Yeah.
You know why? Because all of the Chiefs haters, they won. The Chiefs got trounced. They got embarrassed. So hush over there. They got embarrassed. Travis Kelce didn't have a big game. All the T Swift haters, she got booed. Travis didn't have a big game. So she was only shown one time.
Yeah.
So I just think that, they also won. Ref haters, the game wasn't even close and they couldn't affect the outcome. And also, one of the players was talking about how there were some touchy calls in the beginning and no one's going to comment on that because they were against the Chiefs. Say no more. The football haters, for everyone that was just hating on the matchup itself between the Chiefs and the Eagles, kind of a boring game. So
That's
they
true.
also won.
Yeah.
Because everybody objectively wanted the Bills to win and they didn't get there. And so everyone's like, I'm boycotting the Super Bowl. We're not doing it. They won too. And then you know what? Last but not least,
The supreme hater of them all, perhaps?
actually I'm going to go back. Tom Brady also won because you know why? He got to watch from the booth as Mahomes fell apart and he was definitely sitting up there just so pleased and
With a little evil laugh.
and being like, you and I, we are not the same. We are in a different conversation, sir. And then last but not least, Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
The ultimate hater, hating on Drake, had a
Dragging him to filth.
beautiful halftime performance, called him out by name, even with the threat of being sued. He didn't care.
Right.
He said, I don't mind. I'll
Sue me, babe.
bring
Sue
it
me.
on, babe. Bring it on. And he just really drove home the point that you can be a hater and you can be successful too, but you just have to hate at the highest degree.
I know. If you're going to hate, you have to full send.
Go hard.
Yeah. No more niceness.
No.
Niceness is out in 2025.
No more Mr. Nice Girl.
Oh.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I will probably still be nice, even though it was for the haters.
I like those closing thoughts.
Thank you so much.
I agree. Super Bowl was for the haters.
Okay, what about you?
Mine is maybe more forward looking.
Okay. Interesting.
Hardly. I don't know if you saw, but so the Philadelphia Eagles are having their Super Bowl parade on Friday.
It was supposed to be on Thursday, but because of weather, they pushed it to Friday, yeah.
Oh, that's why. I thought they made it on Friday because Philadelphia, city of brotherly love.
Ooh.
What else is about love but Friday, Valentine's Day?
Nailed it.
I'm actually going to invoke you here because I want to know what your thoughts are. So say your man.
My current man. My fiance man.
Sure.
Okay.
Say that you slaved away in the kitchen. You made a gorgeous dinner, an array,
Yeah.
an appetizer, a main, a dessert.
Whoa. That's a lot of cooking for me, but okay.
Say you have this plan in mind. You already did it.
Uh-huh.
And your man's like, no, I need to be in Philadelphia to go to that parade.
Mm-hmm.
What is your reaction? Yes or no? Immediately. I don't even want you to think about it. Just tell me. Jail time or no?
I'd probably allow him to go, but it's a test. Because everything's always a test.
So if he says yes, I'm going to go, then what do you say?
Then I would be like, okay. And he'd go, and then I would
Poison the food.
No, oh my God. I wouldn't poison the food.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
No, I would just guilt him afterwards and be like, I can't believe you missed Valentine's Day.
Okay. What if he goes to the parade during the day, shows up to your gorgeous, delicious meal, and he's trashed?
Oh, that would really bug me.
Yeah.
Because it's okay, if you plan to come back and try to make both things work, that's good, but you have to actually make both things work,
It's either me. Really?
It's, yeah. You could make both things work, in my opinion. You could go to the parade, have a good time, and then come home, but you can't be trashed.
You are far too reasonable.
Of course.
I'm like, no, it's me or the birds.
Whoa.
That's what I say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would happen if they chose the birds? You would break up with them?
If I just made an entire meal, are you kidding? It would be like you're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Immediate jail.
Jail time. You're getting your jail time, sleeping on the couch. You're in the doghouse.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely in the doghouse. But, I mean, what can you do?
Unless
Okay.
he got me an autograph from Jalen Hurts. Then I think
what if he FaceTimed you with Jalen?
if he FaceTimed me with Jalen, okay, fine. No jail time.
There you go.
You sleep in bed.
There you go. The fix
you
is
get
there.
the meal.
The
And you
fix
get the
is
meal.
there. So there you go. For any man going to the parade on Friday, just know,
There is a solution for you.
there's a solution. You just have to meet Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, easy.
Easy peasy. Doable in my mind.
That got me excited. Now Kioske would never go, but if he
yeah.
did,
There you
and
go.
he did that, I wouldn't give a shit.
The save all for him.
Well, that's it on football for a bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, the NFL, like, there's always an event around the corner. Like, the Combine's in 2 weeks, and then it's going to be free agency, and then it's going to be the draft. So, like, it's going to still be around. So don't worry, football fans. Like, we're still going to be covering it. But, yeah, no more games for a hot sec.
Yeah, not till the fall.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's okay. We still got a lot of sports to cover.
Yep.
A lot of basketball.
You betcha.
Lots of other good stuff.
You betcha.
But for the time being, that's it for this episode of Well Played.
Yeah.
Presented by The Skim.
It went by pretty fast. I feel like it was long, but it went by fast.
Yeah.
Where can people follow you?
They can follow me at BLAAs4KE.
Nice. You can follow me at CG Hendy and make sure you're following The Skim on all social media. Also, you can find our full-length episodes on YouTube, or if you are just more of an audio gal or man, you can just subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yes, please.
Until next time, thanks for listening to Well Played.
The only podcast in a league of its own.